Okay, so we are going to start our webinar on market potential of conversational AI for year 2019 and beyond. In this webinar, we are going to cover the one of the niche segment of the AI, which is conversational AI, which comprises of various sub-streams. I'm Sumant Parimal, Chief Analyst of 5 Research at Inogress, and happen to be an ex-IDC analyst also. And I'm going to take you through this presentation. Hopefully I'm audible. So let me start here. I'll go towards my first slide. This is the typical indexing of the voice-related research happening on the various various online search engines or online websites. So this maps the various country and regions in which a lot of voice-based searches and voice-based commands are getting generated on the internet. So of course you'll see India and China as the two countries here which are dominating the voice-based search and voice-based command. This itself triggered the demand in market, because the more and more voice-based search and voice-based commands are getting used over the internet. That means the backend application need to be also conversationally enabled. That there need to be conversational UI and conversational AI inside those applications. So you see the 51% for India, 49% for China, Indonesia, UAE, Thailand, Turkey, Vietnam, Mexico, and the worldwide percentage is coming around 39%. Okay, so this is the worldwide. So this gives you a fair estimate how the voice-based search are dominating the internet, right? Now coming back to the fundamentals of AI, we covered into our last presentation also. If you see the layering of the AI, typically the AI having the 3 layers here. So first thing is you have the human intelligence executed by machines, so general AI we are calling. Then up below that is the machine learning, ML we call. And then below the machine learning, it's deep learning. So when we talk about conversational, the conversational is the combination of all these 3, right? So conversational applications, AI applications are built by the combination of all these 3. So that is machine learning and deep learning, apart from general AI. So this is just like a walkthrough of what we discussed previously, just to kind of reproduce how the conversational AI are implemented. Now, this is again the old slide we are showing, just to recall what are the AI solutions landscapes, So you can see again, same thing in a different way. You have a machine learning here, you have deep learning here. Okay, so then there's a hardware component, there's a software components. Okay, so now there's embedded machine learning, like on AI on edge, you can say AI on edge. Okay, so if you see what are the main traction area for the overall AI we are talking about here, just like we are giving an overview of overall AI. So this again we covered in our previous presentation also. So if you see, the conversational agents are here. So I think today we are more focusing on this conversational agents. So it's one of the highest adoption right now. You can see, though the market strength and maturity, it's still growing. It is somewhere between low to high. Okay, so to some extent, people are also factoring the facial recognition, though we covered facial recognition in a different webinar, but people are sometimes factoring some component of facial recognition also under the conversational AI. But essentially, this is the area which we are discussing today. Okay. Now here I am going to segment the market. This is the one type of segmentation of conversational AI segmentation. You'll able to see it's forming one of the segment of the overall AI. So I am not going to discuss the other segments here soon here. I'm just going to focus here, which is the topic of today deliberation. This is the conversational AI. So in this also, in this segment also, you'll see there are two sub-segments. One is the chatbot, and second is the virtual assistant. So there are two sub-segments of the conversational AI. One is the chatbot and the virtual assistants. And we also call IVA, that is intelligent virtual assistant. So virtual assistants, and there is a great overlap between chatbots and virtual assistant. In one of the next slide, you'll see how it all started with chatbots, and then it evolved to the virtual assistant. So you can say chatbot is a starting point for the conversational AI, and historically and traditionally, industry started with chatbots, smart chatbots, and then slowly migrating towards the virtual assistants. So it's like always on. That's most of us observe nowadays. Respond to request for information, and the simplest IVA you can observe is if you have an Apple device, you can observe through the Siri. If you have a Google device, Android device, you can observe through the Google Home, and Alexa, you can also say some sort of the virtual assistant itself. Okay, so collaborate in the same manner as other team members. So these are very obvious points. So virtual assistant technology provides features such as converging in natural languages, lifelike avatar, understanding different language, and responding in text or voices. So all kind of application you can have built across the virtual assistant. It may be the translators, the various kind of language translators, and one of the Microsoft technology, they have recently introduced multiple language translators. There's the virtual translators, virtual assistant based translators on their Azure platform, Azure AI platform. And so you can build up the avatars by using the virtual assistant and that is conversational AI platforms. So you can have a multiple avatar depending on your typical customer or market requirement. You can have X numbers of avatars. So these all things are possible. You can experiment with different kind of personalities built up inside your virtual assistant. Like that's one of the flexibility. Like if you deploy a human agent, you can train the human agent for 2 or 3 type of personas. But when you are programming the virtual agents, or say the smart bots for your customer facing applications or customer support system, then you can program it for the n number of personas, right? So depending on what type of customers calling you, or even for the specific customer. So that's one of the advantage, these kinds of virtual agents are offering, and we will discuss in more detail in the next slides. Here again, I'm showing the different structure of the conversational AI market. If you see the conversational AI market capabilities, these are the NLPs, NLG, okay, and then image recognition. In the opening remark, I said, some part of facial recognition, image recognition can be also be clubbed in the conversational AI. Then you can have a sentimental analysis, So, based on the conversational pattern, you can analyze the sentiment of a customer or a sentiment of a vendor or an employee. And similarly, the voice conversation, that's the one thing we are going to talk in detail. Okay. And while we are segmenting the technologies here, it's also very important to know how the commercial models or business models have evolved. So if you see some of the prevalent commercial model and or business model or revenue model, you can say, prevalent in this space is the perpetual licensing of your boards, subscription licensing of your boards or virtual agents of this software what you are offering in market, fixed capacity per board based charges, usage based charges, outcome based charges. So these are all the various prominent models right now the vendors are adopting. So if you are into any of the board solution or you are thinking to build up any of the conversational AI platform or solution, then you can certainly explore these. And these are some of the basic types of revenue models you can explore. You can have their own revenue model strategy or business strategy also, business model strategy also, right? So if you see the technologies goes inside any of the voice operated interfaces which leads to the conversational AI. So these are the key technology component. In previous slide also we discussed some of these, that like natural language understanding, before that automatic speech recognition, bot intelligence. Okay, and these are the interfaces, the conversational interfaces, right? Text to speech. Now, one of the biggest digital transformation is underway. That means most of the UI, the user interface, we earlier had either in the text base or character base or some kind of reading base. Those are now getting converted to voice activated the conversational interfaces. So there is a massive transformation is going to be undertaken in B2B space or also in B2C space for transforming the traditional or conventional applications from the traditional interfaces to the voice interfaces, voice activated interfaces or conversational interfaces. So that's also a big opportunity coming in a way if you are operating into technology services business. And we had done our prediction in this area on digital transformation opportunity based on the conversational AI in a couple of our earlier webinar. You can browse our channel, YouTube channel, and can have access of our earlier webinar where we have predicted what is the big market potential for the digital transformation based on the conversational interfaces, right? So in a nutshell, the conversational is bringing two types of opportunity. One is the conversational AI we are discussing right now, and other is conversational UI, that is transforming all traditional user interface or the customer interface to the voice activated or conversational activated interfaces. And this curve shows how the market is responding right now for the conversational AI. One component of conversational AI is IVA we are talking about, but this is nowadays is major component. So this overall driving the conversational AI adoption. So if you see this, we are here, right? So still these all adoption in initial phase, where most of them are in enterprises, most of them are in the pilot phase or early adoptions. Some enterprises are doing some kind of prototyping also, some kind of test implementations. So you can say year 2018 to 2019 is still starting phase, where the people are building the concept of the entire conversational AI implementation in enterprise IT landscape or in the consumer world also, right? So any questions so far here? You can unmute your mic and you can talk. You can take your question whenever you want, or at the end of the session, there will a typical slot fixed for Q&A session. There also you can take your questions, or there will be an email ID will be also shared where you can send your structured questions. So definitely in next 3 to 4 years, we will see the tremendous growth of the IVA, that is conversational AI adoption in the industry. So next 4 years is going to be the going to save this industry, you know. So if you are into either into the vendor side, or if you are into the user side, next 4 years are going to be critical for you, you know, in terms of you are planning to launch any new product or any new solutions or framework, or you are planning to adopt some of these conversational AI technologies. So again, some kind of segmentation here for the conversational AI. So there is integrators, the global system integrators. So you can say these players offers the professional services. Okay, there's offer the custom development like interface development, or the algorithm development, or the ML model development, or deep learning model development. Some of the players examples and names are also given here. Okay, like Accenture and Deloitte. Then there's one player here shown here, conversational platform SaaS players. So they host the typical hosted solution. They host the conversational AI solution, and they supplement the model. So like NextIT, IPsoft. Now one more layer for the service provider is here, hosted services. So like NLP, speech to text, sentiment analysis. So I mean, see, like if I am offering a sentiment analysis services, then I'll be only hosting that piece of the algorithm. That is, I'll be selling only that piece of the algorithm through my hosted services, right? So I'll fit it here. So hosted models with a customization API. So you may be offering it as an API also. So this is like some kind of ecosystem, various ecosystems available in conversational AI space. Okay, so here like you have the more flexibility, build your own models. So what you want to operate in the entire conversational AI ecosystem, this is the white space. You can build your concept, your business concept, your own model, business model concept, and you launch here. Build using very large enterprise data set and require machines. Okay, so this you will give you a fair structure where you can fit it. You know, either you can operate in all these 4 layers, or multi-layer with the multi-layer capability, or you can just build your capability in layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4. Anywhere you can build up your capability, depending on you need to do market potential analysis for all these 4 layers to find out if you operate in layer 1, how much revenue potential you can have. If you operate in layer 2, how much revenue potential you can have. You have, say, operate in level 3, how much potential you can have for the earning. And suppose if you want to launch your multi-platform, multi-segment products, then what kind of revenue you can target, right? So these kind of go-to-market strategy and planning you need to do before you actually decide where you want to operate in these 4 layers or 4 segments of the market. Now, going to the next slide. So if you see the how this all the evolution happened, now we are discussing about 2 aspects. One thing is the chat box and chatbots, and second is the IVA, that intelligent virtual agents. So chatbots also like evolve, like you know, the basic charts we are exposed to since early 2000 or late 1990s. So from there we moved to the rule-based on-site bot. Okay, so and then the rule-based on-site bot got expanded to the AI-powered bot in messaging application. Now The messaging applications are also built on the messaging app, like you have the WeChat or you have the Facebook Messenger. They also, now the many bots are getting integrated, so you can, instead of keeping your own messaging infrastructure, you can integrate with WhatsApp, you can integrate with the Facebook Messenger app, you can integrate your bot with the WeChat also, so there are various options available. Uh, so this is how it's expanded, right? And it's still expanding, So so at present we are having the AI powered boot that link on-site and messaging app and conversation with option for human interventions. So these are the capabilities right now we have on the AI based boards. When we talk especially about IVA, that is virtual assistant market segment, it essentially having the three segments shown here. So first thing is the VPA, the virtual personal assistant, then VEA, our virtual personal assistant. A good example is a Siri you have, or Alexa you have, and VEA, virtual enterprise assistants. These are mostly built into inside the B2B portals, right? So where, see, like in a enterprise where the employee needs some kind of assistant and support, instead of calling the HR buddy, they'll have a VPA which acts as a HR buddy, right? So there this boards fit over there. So similarly, the virtual support agent, this is typically for the outside world, in B2B environment where you are supporting your customers. So this is the customer support IVAs, right? Customer support. This is more kind of employee support, and this is more kind of personal support. Okay, so this is the three niche areas, three subsegments of the virtual assistants. In addition to what we have seen on the chatbot side. So in nutshell, when we are summarizing how the shift has happened over the year in the conversational AI space. So if you see that in the past, when we started with the rule-based chatbots, so typically used for tech support in L1, L2, still you'll find that many of the tech supports in the various customer-facing web services are offered through the rule-based chatbots. Like if you are landing in difficulty in your laptop, in router network, so first thing you'll get is automated bots which traces or which diagnoses or gives L1, L2 tech support. And then you also get to implement customer support. Then you also implement the employee support. And to some extent, these initial chatbots were used for the order fulfillment also, like basic tracking of the orders, the status of your order, something like that. But when you see the shift has happened now, and this shift is essentially for the deeper understanding of various artificial intelligence technology like deep learning and machine learning. So with the intervention of deep learning and machine learning, now the conversational AI has shifted from the simple chatbot, rule-based chatbot, to the entire AI-based IVA. So IVA we discussed in the previous slide also. So these are the intelligent virtual assistants, and also to some extent the advanced versions of AI-based chatbots. So now if you see, these IVAs are now handling the complex customer dealings, which also involves the payments and collections. So entire CRM functions are now getting targeted to be handled by IVAs through conversational AI. Okay, so now customer retention, these aspects are also handled by IVA. They are also the agents, virtual agents are now also doing the upselling and cross-selling. They are also now doing the customer acquisition. They're also doing the back office work. So, the simple rule-based work or support is now actually going towards the supporting the various activity typically done by sales agent or salesperson or customer care executives. So that's the region. The IVA is moving very fast in the front-end application like CRM application, customer support applications, those applications are vendor management applications. So it's like it's moving along with the RPA, the robotics process automation. So where you had the requirement of manual agents, now you are replicating or substituting those manual agents with the IVA, the virtual agents. Manual agents will be still there, but they will be for handling some of the complex scenario or escalated scenario which is coming from the IVAs. Okay, so this is the shift has happening in the market. Hopefully, I'm clear and letting you know how the IVA is changing the entire conversational AI market. Now, going to the next slide, if you see the overall AI adoption trend. So in overall AI adoption trend, the conversational side is here. So it is like it is the third important AI mandate, which is right now getting executed in various enterprises. Okay, so the first is the RPA. I talked about RPA. So it's very important that when you are implementing RPA, robotic process automation, in various organizations, it is important that you also modernize your interfaces through conversational interfaces. So these all adoption can go in a one go, where you are clubbing robotics process automation project along with the AI, other AI components like implementing machine learning and conversational AI. Okay, so third latest adoption, of course, is happening across the conversational AI. Then the other AI functions like in computer vision, it's very important for robotics or self-driving cars, automated cars. Okay, so computer vision, then other component of other component of conversational AI, natural language processing and understanding, natural language speech understanding, natural language generation. Okay, so these also forms the major adoptions component for in AI stack. So some of the enterprises who have benefited by adopting the conversational AI and chatbots. So if you see this Forrester case study, Forrester has asked the city from 22 enterprises organization if they had achieved some kind of meaningful result with a chatbot. So 88% said that they saw a deflection or reduction in volume of email or chat or phone, and 75% actually saw some cost saving and cost improvement, and 71% of them saw some kind of improvement in customer satisfaction or customer experience. So definitely the business case is there for chatbot and IVA implementation, which are the two critical component of conversational AI. So if you are going to adopt or going to sell some of your solution, you have to work across your these kind of business cases to make your customer sure or make your decision maker or management sure why they should go for chatbot or the IVA implementation. So some of the key market highlights again given here. The global conversational AI market size to grow for 4.2 billion to 15.7 billion by 2024. Next 5 year itself, you will see a more than 10 billion growth in the conversational AI market. Okay, so global intelligent virtual IVA market was valued around 2.39 billion last year and expected to expand at a CAGR of 40.4%. So now this market comprises of IVA plus chatbots. Now when you see CAGR of the IVA is very high, it is higher than chatbot. So that's what, if you are prioritizing your solution, so you should be keeping priority for development of solution across IVA. Demand for automation in services, integration of AI, IoT, coupled with the hyper usage of smartphone integration to drive the growth. So this is how the conversational AI market is driving the growth. Next prediction is chatbots held the largest market share in 2018. Chatbots are widely adopted in banking, insurance, retail, and consumer goods segments. So smart speakers, uh, they are again a part of the entire conversational AI ecosystem, and they are expected to expand at the fastest CAGR, and there have been a remarkable rise in demand for the adoption of smart speakers in smart offices and smart homes and automotive applications. So your home is going to talk, your office is going to talk, and like right now you are switching on your washing machine and AC and fans through the switches, hardware switches. Now, you have seen many applications where Alexa switches up the lights for you, or just you enter into house and give a voice command. Your refrigerator will open, your AC will get open, get started. Your washing machine gets started. Your camera will fetch you details of who came, who visited your house, and when visited your house, just by your voice command. So this is how some kind of innovation is happening in a smart home and a smart office market by using the conversational AI. So automotive, that is the vehicle sector, automotive sector is emerging as the fastest growing segment in the intelligent virtual assistant market. So essentially, on your dashboards, many conversational AI-based interfaces will be installed, again through the smart speakers. So all navigational details will come through the conversational interfaces. All parking details will come through the conversational, the parking guidance will come through the conversational intelligence. Okay, so retail segment is also driving the adoption of virtual assistants based on the conversational AI, owing to the features such as answering consumer queries and issue in an efficient and cost-effective manner. If you see IVA market share by technology, here we are only showing the IVA. So the biggest market is for the text to speech. Okay, this is the text to speech, and then automatic speech recognition and text based application. So these three components inside the IVA is driving the market. Now, automatic speech recognition is fastest growing at a CAGR of 39.5%. Though the market share is low, but growth is high. Okay. And the text to speech is also growing at a steady rate. And right now, this market is valued at 1.42 billion. So some more market insights here. In conversational AI market, APAC is expected to grow at the highest rate, though North America is also one of the largest market right now. As per one of the other analysts, Gartner, by 2020, 50% of analytical queries will be generated via search. And we have seen in starting itself, we have seen that how the various countries are now exposed to the voice searches, and NLP or voice or will be automatically generated. Okay. As per Gartner, 2020, 25% of customer services and support operation will integrate virtual customer tools technology across engagement channels. All CRM channel, all services channel going forward will be on the conversational technologies. So key vendors, in one of the previous slides, we also discussed some of the vendors. Here also we are summarizing the vendors operating in conversational AI markets are Amazon, Baidu, Nuance, Oracle, Microsoft, Google, SAP, IBM, Avamo, Conversica, Haptic. Microsoft and IBM, of course, are focusing more for the B2B apps, while Google and Amazon are focusing on more how the people can use the conversational AI in the various B2C, C2B, C2C, C2G, G2C environments, right? The vendor in the market offers the conversational AI platform as a proprietary NLP engine and conversational middleware that focuses on orchestration of product lifecycle. So these are some of the market intelligence we wanted to share with you, and so that when if you are driving any project, so you can align your strategy and go to market, and even for the project planning, you can align your project strategy with these are some of the emerging trends. So here again, some kind of vendor listing is there. So if you see natural NLP, in natural language processing, natural language processing, you have Amazon Lex, Amazon Comprehend, Microsoft Language Understanding Intelligence Services, Microsoft Linguistic API, Microsoft Web Language Modeling API, Microsoft Bing Spell Checker, and Google Cloud Natural Language. IBM Watson is doing fairly well. IBM Watson Natural Language Classifier. So these are all components under natural language processing, and is under speech to text. Again, you have repetition here, the same solutions, Amazon Lex, IBM Watson, you have a special component here, speech to text, Microsoft Bing Speech, Microsoft Speaker Recognition API. You must be using some of them in your apps. Google Cloud Speech API. Similarly, text-to-speech, Amazon Polly, IBM Watson to text-to-speech, Microsoft Bing Speech, Microsoft Linguistic Analysis. Okay, if you see the translation segment here, there are some good vendors are there. Amazon Translate, IBM Marshall Language Translator, Microsoft Translator Text API, Microsoft Translator Speech API, Google Cloud Translator API. Now, if you see sentimental analysis segment, so you have the solutions here like IBM Tone Analyzer, IBM Personality Insights, Microsoft Text Analytics. So, I mean, there are many other startups who are offering solutions across these areas of the conversational AI. But what have been mentioned here is the leading vendors and their leading solutions. Mostly the vendors are mentioned here: the Google, Microsoft, Amazon, IBM. Okay, but many startups are launching their very innovative solutions in this space. So if you are going to build your solution in any of these space, you should also analyze the market around not only these big vendors, but also around the many innovative startup firms. Okay, so that's one of the recommendation I have for your go-to-market. Now, coming towards how the merger and acquisition has been performing in this sector. If you see, in last year, the merger acquisition was very hectic. In conversational AI space, there was around 28 M&As, big M&As happened in conversational AI. And 2019 is still going on, so we don't have the full data right now, so we have to wait till December for getting fuller. So if you see 2017 to 2018, a lot of jump has happened in the M&A transactions, so we are hoping that 2019 will be more volatile year for the M&As. So as I said, even these big vendors like IBM, SAP, Microsoft, they are also doing a lot of merger acquisition for the smaller vendors or the new startups. They are integrating into their product portfolio because the rate of innovation is very high in this space. So and typically led by the startups. So if you're planning your startup, so you can keep your roadmap in such a manner that in an event of any future M&A, how your system is going to integrate with the biggies platforms. Okay, so with this, we are coming towards end of this webinar, and I open this house for any Q&A. If you have any question right now, you can chat here, you can unmute your mic and talk to me. We have around 2-minute time remaining. After that, the bridge will be shut down, and if you have any questions further, you can write down my email ID on which you can send your question. My email ID is sumant@startcsi.com. Alternate is sumant_parimal@inogress.com. So I really thank your participation and interest for this webinar, and I look forward the further interaction with your webinar. I also request you to join our LinkedIn group, meetup group, or also join our one of the Telegram platforms, so that we remain connected over there also. And with this, we are coming towards the end. Until for this presentation, you have any question, you are welcome to write to me or text it here. Thanks a lot.